think of all these names: the Warehouse Cafe, Flying Saucer, Lord of the Drinks, Tamasha, Plum, Dragonfly. What's the one thing that's common in all of these names? They're all owned by one person, Priyank Sukhija, the man behind First Fiddle. In this episode of Behind the Business, I spent time with Priyank at Lord of the Drinks, Nehru Place, Epicuria, to just get to know this person. He comes from a family of lawyers. I don't think he was meant to do this. And yet, in just a few years, Priyank has gone on to redefine the way Indians think about stepping out, just having fun one fine evening. I had a great time just getting to know him as a person, his personal ambitions, what's his plan for First Fiddle, and a lot. And I hope you enjoyed this conversation just as much as I did. Over to this talk between Priyank and me one fine afternoon. So thank you so much, Priyank, for being here.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you on Behind the Business.
Thank you so much.
I would love to spend time with you on your journey. Like you come from a family of lawyers.
Yes.
You weren't technically meant to do any of this, and today, inarguably, you would be the man who's defining F&B industry in the India level at a big scale. How did it all start? Like Lazeez Affair, how did it even come to your mind?
It's all very accidental.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 19 years old when I opened Lazeez Affair. So I suffer from dyslexia.
Okay.
I'm dyslexic, and I wanted to do something with my life.
Yeah.
Definitely, I couldn't have been a lawyer because being a lawyer involves a lot of reading and all. And that was my. I was struggling in my school with that.
Got it.
So I think I wanted to do something with my life. That entrepreneurial bug bit me pretty early, and that only started because I thought that I don't have a professional career because of this. We had this property in Malchamag. My dad had gave me a little bit of capital at that time, and we started with Lazeez Affair.
Yeah.
It's on the ground floor of it.
Yeah.
Later we extended to the entire property.
Correct.
We started with a 70-seater restaurant.
Yeah.
That kicked off very well. It was our aim was to make the restaurant ahead of its time.
Yeah.
At whatever our competing restaurants were there.
Yeah.
So whether it's design, whether it's food, we tried to go the extra mile.
Okay.
So we hit it off there, and that got me very interested because if your first venture becomes great, it gives you more than
cool
lag jata hai, sher ke muh. So that time I was 19. I used to I used to love food.
Yeah.
Started with this. A couple of years later, I started liking drinks.
Nice.
So I opened RPM.
Yeah, of course.
Which is still running at Vasant Vihar. It's the longest running standalone bar.
And almost defines what the bar culture is.
Yeah, I mean, to some people who are partying since that era, RPM it's like an institution.
Yeah,
I know so many people who had their first drink there, and it's good to I think it's kind of a social service that we are doing.
Did you feel something like this came naturally to you, or you had to figure a lot of things out?
So I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I started off when I was 18. I tried doing a bowling alley. I set it up also, but luckily we could not open it because the place got sealed and all, and was very devastated. Then we started Lazeez Affair.
Yeah.
So I gradually realized that restaurants is what I want to do. But yes, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was looking at a car dealership, I was looking at restauranting, I was looking at bowling alley. There were many options.
Yeah.
But once we started doing restaurants, initially for Lazeez Affair, we hired consultants, we hired chefs, although but I got deep into it later because once you started enjoying it, it was actually only after 2-3 years that you feel it, and then the calling came.
Wonderful. Well, one more thing that almost sets the Priyank way of running this business is you didn't stick with one brand, but you consciously chose to create different identities.
So I got stuck with it. A lot of people ask me that why you got stuck with it. So my way of working was I choose locations.
Okay.
When I did Hoskas Village, I chose as a location. I mean, it's not working anymore because we withdrew from Hoskas Village due to some reasons, those fire hazards and all.
Yeah.
But we had 6 restaurants at Hoskas Village at the same time. Right now I have 8 restaurants in CP.
Yeah.
So I can't open 8 warehouses or 8 Lord of the Drinks. And the TG is the same. I cater to the millennials. Yeah. Obviously every brand is different from each other.
Yeah.
But since they are in walking distance from each other, we ended up having so many of these things. Going forward, we are only scaling up Lord of the Drinks as our brand.
Great.
For where the large format is a high energy bar is concerned. So we have 7 outlets now, and 3 are in the making, and so that is something we are scaling. Then we have Plum, which is our Pan-Asian cafe. That is something we are scaling. We are opening Dragonfly, which is a large format Cantonese restaurant. We're also going to take Tamasha to places because that's also an all-day cafe, and Lazeez Affair, of course. We also have Jalwa, which we are getting very soon to Delhi. It's we opened that in Bombay, got a lot of love. So that's about it.
And I also noticed, we were talking about this, that your love affair kind of moved from Delhi to Bombay and it fluctuates now.
I'd not say that my love affair moved, because I'm born and brought up in Delhi. All the recognition I got was from this city, so this city will always be my first love. It's just that a couple of years ago we just failed to get the locations anymore. Delhi is designed in such a way that there are not many commercial spaces for the large format restaurants that we want. We don't go to malls. I don't have a single restaurant in the mall because the kind of clientele I cater to is different. I mean, they're not. It's not the mall clientele. So we look for standalone large format, and we were struggling in Delhi to get locations. Bombay was a good market. Now we are opening 2 in Bangalore also. And I haven't done anything in Delhi for 2 years. But now AeroCity Worldmark is coming up in a big way. There are so many good restaurants coming up there. We are opening Plum, and Dragonfly. Plum is opening in December. And Dragonfly would take January or February 2019.
Wonderful. Congratulations
so
for that.
Coming back to Delhi, and I'm so excited about this. It's almost like I'm hitting back with a vengeance.
and between food and drinks, you did mention that you were interested in food and then you got interested in drinks. Do you see that playing a good role in today's brands that you have, or
of course,
one takes precedence over others?
So I'd say they have to go hand in hand. I mean, it's there are lot many restaurants which serve great food, but it's sad that some of my favorite restaurants don't do that kind of numbers because there need to be drinks supporting to that, and vice versa. If we just do drinks and don't do good food, I think it's to make a place run. You have to get all the ticks right, whether it's ambience, whether it's location, whether it's your marketing, how you market it, and food and drinks and service. Everything is part of that. So
got it. On the surface, Priyank, everyone thinks that being in the food industry is like glamorous or high life and वगैरह. And of course, there's this other side to it as well. What's the hardest part about being a food entrepreneur?
I don't know. Why is it glamorous? It should not be considered glamorous anymore.
Look at the place we're sitting in. It's like a luxury.
But you know what's happening is people just perceive it to be glamorous. People think that maybe the boss is some cool dude who's sitting on a table with some chicks and popping champagnes. That's not true. He's the guy you just scolded at your desk because you didn't get good service today. He's the same guy there. So he's the guy who's going through your comment cards every time and following it up on social media that how things are going. He's the one struggling. Because because it's very healthy that there's so many places now. I mean, if I compare Delhi to what 5 years ago was, it was actually easier.
Really?
We could have gotten away with a lot of things. Now there are so many places, and the client is also well traveled. He is more aware, so you have to bring your A game now.
Absolutely.
You can't get away with shoddy products. And we used to get away with them till a few years ago because there was a time you open up a bar and there is
just the novelty would bring in people.
Friday, Saturday, there is a queue, and sometimes it would be like, okay, I don't like him, I'm not going to let him enter. Sometimes the managers would act like that. Now it's like, totally boss, please, aa jao ab to. And it's good. That's how it should be. The market is expanding. The kind of bars that they're expanding. It's good for the consumer. It's good for bars so that we can give better products. We can, concentrate more on stuff and put India on the map.
Wonderful. I'd like to get your view, Priyank, on how do you see the entire food delivery business disrupting with the entire on-premise or eating out business?
I think they're two separate verticals.
Yeah.
And I think they have to coexist. There is one food delivery and there is an on-premise business.
Exactly.
On-premise definitely, whereas my restaurants are concerned, we also deliver food.
Yeah.
Not that much though, because even if I'm serving a very good dal or a very good butter chicken, it just doesn't come to you that you want a dal from a place called Lord of the Drinks. So it's just subconsciously you don't order that a lot, but we still do our fair share of it. But as a consumer, not as a restaurateur, I ask for. I do get a lot of food ordered in at my house from various restaurants, and I do go out to a lot of restaurants to experience it. So I think the clientele is same. It just depends that on a weekday, on a lazy weekday, I think more than food delivery, what's hampering these restaurants is what's going to kill us is Netflix. People are just busy. Yeah, Netflix and it's become like that, yeah.
No,
seriously.
There was.
I mean, I'm a Netflix junkie. I'm now that Amazon Prime Video also.
Yeah.
But I hate it because
it just
people
makes
are
you
just
numb.
Yeah.
There was a survey I read this morning itself which said that 52% of teenagers will cancel social plans to watch Netflix.
Yes, and that is the scary part.
That is the scary part.
That is the scary part. I think we need to it'll be cool if some of the restaurants can get together with Netflix and probably just have these marathons of these shows.
Yeah, Mirzapur.
Yeah, I ended up seeing the entire season in one night. It's actually good. So that is something which I think is a bigger competitor than delivery for our experience.
I so agree with that, and that's a very insightful way of thinking about it as well.
Yeah.
But coming to that, you are also known for having perhaps the finest level of entertainment on your premise, right? And you've genuinely invested in that, and people speak about it and so on. Did you always recognize here from food and drink needs to be mashed with this?
Yes, I think so, because so what usually happens is you get usually if I'm traveling abroad and my friends are taking me out, they get free by 7 from their work. We go for dinner at about 8, and we have dinner, then we go to a lounge bar for a couple of wines after dinner, then we head up to a nightclub. And that's how an entertainment night here is. Now in India what happens is you get free by 9 if you're into it, because by the time you reach home and you have a license till 1 and you have to get ready, be to the spot at 10 o'clock, and you have to have your drinks, pre-gaming, entertainment, everything in those 3 hours. So it's a very hybrid kind of a model that we try to do. So we try to pack everything together. Okay, let's give them fine dining or at least good casual dining, quality food. We give them entertainment. We give them, just pack it up in everything. We have to just rush up with things.
That is a very, very smart way of thinking about it.
So entertainment is definitely a very big vertical of all we do, also because we do large format restaurants. We do, this is the smallest lot of the things.
Yeah.
This one is the smallest. And the number of guests we entertain, entertainment's obviously a crowd puller.
Do you, from an organizational perspective, have different teams owning up the different brands? Or is it just one team that looks after all the brands?
So, from an organization perspective, it's like the chef team, the kitchen team, and the operational team is different. But the way they are reporting, so my HR is same for all the brands, my purchase is same for all the brands, accounting is same for all the brands. That of course, we have general managers for every restaurant, but there is also somebody who's looking after the operations of the entire Delhi, and that guy reports to me. So that's how it does.
And do you occasionally see jealousy or competition, either healthy or unhealthy?
There is always a jealousy, there is always a competition. I hope my staff is not watching this, but I kind of induce it. I tell them that restaurant's doing better, and I kind of reward them, and it kind of, if some restaurants is not achieving a target, they actually go the extra mile.
Nice.
It's good for us.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
Don't show this to any of my staff.
Yeah. And the future plans beyond just opening up new brands, are you also considering at all going international?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wonderful.
So, Plum is something we would like to take international, and Jalwa is something we'd like to take international.
Very nice.
We have identified locations, we have identified some things. It's just that we are probably the only company at this scale who has not been funded till now,
Yeah.
and this is all self grown.
Yes.
And we are getting funded very soon, and
Very
probably that's थोड़े पैसे आ जाए फिर चलेंगे वहाँ.
I know. Congratulations. Good. All the best with that. A few quick questions before we wind up. One is, think of it like a rapid fire. Is there any restaurant that you don't own that you wish you owned?
Many.
Yeah.
Many.
Name one. Name a few.
In India,
Yeah. Let's say.
I love this place, the Akira back.
Yes.
I mean,
of course.
that is it's flawless. I go
Yeah.
there almost every time.
Yeah.
There is this very good restaurant which used to open, which was open, got shut, and now reopened again
Oh.
at the Lodi, called the Tress.
Yes. Of course.
So that is one of my favorite restaurants.
Nice.
I mean, I love the simplicity of foods there.
Yeah.
In Bombay, I love the Bombay canteen, which is I don't know how those guys do it. They have their magic.
Do it.
And across the world, तो फिर बहुत सारे
हाँ,
बहुत सारे मतलब जहाँ भी जाओ लगता है काश ये.
Any trend that you've seen outside that you would love to bring to India?
So I see night clubbing in India is not very serious. Also because there are a lot of restrictions, there are a lot of the kind of night clubbing, the kind of entertainment that you see in Europe, in London, in Ibiza, that needs to come here. With food, there's this. We will get everything here if we feel that there is something that needs to come into India. I'm not talking about myself only, but many of my other counterparts, whether it's everybody is getting their A game. So food scene of India is actually growing a lot.
Nice.
That is nice.
Very nice. And one almost say unpopular choice of city to open up a restaurant. Like people usually don't think of it, but you think like ये तो cracker है. मतलब how are people missing this city?
I think tier 2 India.
Yeah.
We have not even barely scratched the surface.
And you
right
think
now.
that there is both potential
So
and everything.
we opened Lucknow Flying Saucer.
Lucknow.
Yeah, we opened Lucknow Flying Saucer, and I opened it with I was a little, hesitant. I was hesitant. I opened it. I studied the market, and it's been a year. In February, we'll complete 1 year this time, and the first year of operation has opened up our eyes. We are doing as much numbers as we do in a Delhi Flying Saucer, with the rent which is 1/4. Salaries also, our manpower cost is 20% lesser.
Wow.
So it's actually making more money than a Delhi Flying Saucer today.
Wow.
And this was an eye opener. So we signed 2 more in Lucknow. I am looking at we are opening Chennai, which is not a tier 2, but we are opening Chennai. A lot of the things next month. We've signed Kolkata. We've signed Indore.
Wonderful.
I think the problem with India is there is so much youth. We have the largest working population in the world today, and everybody is aware because everybody's either traveled, or if not traveled, at least everybody's got access to information. Everybody's got YouTube videos. Everybody's got things. So I feel we have the resources, we have the market. They don't have the options.
They don't have the options.
I hear there are a couple of restaurants in Bhubaneswar which are doing very well. I mean, I'm not denying a lot of the drinks in a place like Visakhapatnam also.
Wow.
I'm not denying a lot of the drinks in a place like Coimbatore. Maybe not now, maybe in a couple of years. But the market is growing. So we are really on the tip of the iceberg right now.
Fantastic. On that note, Priyank, thank you so much for
Thank you
being part
so
of
much.
this.
It
This
was
is lovely.
great.
All the best with everything, and
Thank
we will
you.
continue
Thank you so much.
remaining loyal fans, and
Yes.
all the best with everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.